Very good morning. How are you? Today now we are going to take the last topic, our unit number 4. What is called translation method. Fortunately, in the question paper given in the textbook, translation question is not appearing, but there is a chance. Sometime they will ask you how you can translate. So far we studied sentence correction, then we went to paragraph correction, then the last topic they put in the textbook, translation from mother tongue to English. You know, basically mother tongue, our Malayalam, once we think in Malayalam, write in Malayalam, English will go in different channel. So you should be very careful. So probably they will give you a paragraph, maybe small paragraph. And in the textbook, many paragraphs given, you have to practice after my lecturing class. The methods, as we refer to previous chapters, I have given you several steps. Once you maintain these steps, things will be very easy. Otherwise, sometimes you will lose marks. Probably this is the first time they put a translation passage or translation is a topic in the BA degree class. So there is a chance coming how you can write, translate a piece of paragraph to English. You know, nowadays people, students being, they are all right confined in their houses and they have no chance to meet together, and somebody reports me that they lose their all right friendly attitude to their friends. You know, this is a world we have to adjust. All right. Recently I read in one of the probably in Madhrubhumi Sunday supplement, it is or somewhere in, I think in social media, come across a story of a boy. You know, this boy who is very crazy towards all animals. Go to, they are village area finding birds and other animals. And he is fond of cats and dogs. Once he is going through a marketplace, he is to a particular house where a board has been kept. In the board it is written, puppy for sales. No, I think it is in the social media I came across this incident. You people may also have watched it. And this boy is very happy, and he is running to his house and collected some money and coming to this master's house where puppies are kept in a very big board, puppies for sale. And you know, the master came out of the house and asked, why you are here? The child reports, so one board is kept here, you are ready to sell puppies in the house. Yeah, we are ready. All right, how much? Then can you show me the puppies? And this man all of a sudden called. All the puppies came, and they are in very active, they are very energetic, and they came. And there were 5 puppies. All right, mother was not seen there. Okay, then master asked this child, which puppy you want? All of a sudden he said, showing 4 puppies. This puppy 3,000, this puppy 4,000, like that he reported. But the child becomes very sad. Once he saw All of a sudden, these 4 puppies running went away. But one puppy was there, very small puppy, is not moving that much. And the child asked the master, why this puppy not moving? And master told the child, this is not best one in my house. Doctor reports this puppy's hip is not correct and cannot walk as much as he likes. So if you want, you can take free. I don't mind. But these other 4 puppies I need 4 to 3,000 rupees. This puppy you may take. You will not get that much pleasure. It will be a responsibility for you. But child took some money from his pocket. It is not sufficient, but gave him, the master, almost 350 rupees. And he said, all right, balance I will pay you once when I get money. But I don't want these very active, jumping, running puppies. I want this one. Master wondered, why? Pay money this much, and he promised to pay money much more, and you take this puppy which is not able to walk? Right. Child reported, see, such animals we need more consideration, because all of a sudden he showed his leg to the master. He was also having a crippled leg. Or crippled leg means limping leg. It was artificial leg he had kept. In the same way, what does it show? It shows that we should show consideration to the needy people, not to the people who have everything in their hand. So, this type of consideration makes you a very good human being. That may be the target, that may be the real, core idea the writer might have thought about showing the people. So what I want to, so this type of social commitment, consideration to the weak section, consideration to the needy people will be the target of a modern generation, that I mean. So you have to keep in such things in your mind once you go in your higher classes. So we come to the translation mother tongue to English. We have our responsibility to change mother tongue area, mother tongue passage to English. Once what problem coming, mother tongue is our first language, English is our second language. People always complain, you are thinking in Malayalam, write in English, will go wrong. Always all people will think in Malayalam, will have construction in Malayalam, but always have a tendency to go wrong. Am I right? So you should be very careful. That is why some grammarians say, I already taught you S plus V plus O, 3 important significant kernel elements in a sentence is S plus V plus O. It is non-flexible language, non-flexible construction, S followed by V followed by O. But in 99% Malayalam is SOV language. So this is the real principle of English, that S followed by V followed by O is there, whereas you come to Malayalam, S followed by O is there. So you are thinking in this principle and writing in this way will make you complicated. So our problem is that we have to translate Malayalam sentences which are given in a paragraph without losing the meaning, without losing the correct spirit. You have to rewrite it. It is a vital role. It is a very important role. You know, in modern language, you just go to any bookseller's shop, all valuable, what is called world-known classics are translated in Malayalam. You want a Shakespearean story? You want any Victor Hugo stories? Any stories, any novel, even Taslima Nasreen. All right, Taslima Nasreen, very revolutionary writer. All her books, which are written in Bangladesh, Bangla language, or what you call English, are translated in Malayalam, available everywhere. So, without losing the correct spirit of the writer, the translator will give a real translation. That may be the one of the bases by which you get pleasure. If translation goes wrong, we will feel difficult to read. The flow of the language, what goes after translation. If it strikes bad, you cannot read and get pleasure. And what is meant reading, and what is the main aim of reading? To get mental pleasure. If you read a piece of poetry, if you read a piece of novel, what is the main target? We should develop our horizon of knowledge. At the same time, we should get pleasure. If pleasure is not there, how can you read it? So, some translated books will make you, all the broken. What is the perpendicular split? That perpendicular split will makes you very dull in reading. So translation should be vital. So this is a very great point you copy down. Translation of a passage should have a vital role. It should have very significant. And that we translate to foreign language. All right. And many books are written in translation. But the actual translations sometimes go wrong. Probably you might have studied a small poem by Indian writer poet Nizami Sakil, very famous Indian poet, almost akin to, similar to our Tagore. All right, Nizami Sakil. Those people are interested in Indian literature may go behind Nizami Sakil. His poems are there for higher secondary and high schools. Nizami Sakil has beautifully written a piece of poem, what is called Goodbye Party to Pushpa T.S. That is very significant poem. If you get free time, you just go through in Google and search this poem. What is called Goodbye Party to Pushpa T.S. Pushpa. It is a send-off party given to Pushpa, the main core idea of the poem. Where he wants to try, the whole people come to the stage and make very big speeches on Pushpa, and majority of them speak words which are not really suitable to the correct situation. Once he used, Pushpa's father is in foreign. We people always say, where is your papa? Where is your father? My father is in foreign. What is meant by foreign is a word which is a modifier, which is a qualifier, which is an adjective. Suppose you can tell my pen is foreign, that is okay. Foreign is a word adjective to a noun, means it qualifies a noun, means it is a modifier. But we should never say my father is in foreign. Now again I remind this poet, Nizami Sakil has given plenty number of words which Indians usually go wrong. Very go wrong, like foreign as a word. So by this lesson, we should be in a position to translate Malayalam sentences or a small paragraph to English without losing the correct spirit of the paragraph. If vice versa, that may be also good. From English to Malayalam, that also translation is good. So we have a lot of theories that can be kept for our translation. But once you refer your own textbook and linguistic textbooks, there are so many researches are done on how you can translate a piece from your mother tongue to English. And I would recommend you to read some translation books which will give you a spirit how you can go in the field. So some areas that have been remarkably put forward by writers that you can copy on. First one, you have to keep in mind some lexical step number one, some lexical items. All right. So first thing that you have to keep in mind. In Malayalam also so many lexical, for example, proverbial expansions, sometimes idiomatic phrases. For example, last vocabulary class I mentioned, all right, what is called kick one's bucket. Okay, that is one of the lexical items. Kick one's bucket, all right, kick one's bucket. Look here, one example, kick one's bucket. Suppose you have this phrase in a paragraph, you have to translate into Malayalam. Then what will you write? So kick one's bucket, kick his bucket, kick her bucket means pass away or die. All right, meet death. That is called kick one's bucket. So lexical items, proverbial, epigrams, figure of speeches, all these you have to keep in mind. Or exact words once you try to supply may not be available. So you should have a very deep study on lexical items in your mind for once you try to translate. The next one, discourse markers. Discourse markers that you studied already in the previous chapters. Discourse markers is a very big chapter. Always we use in a paragraph, in a conversation style, everywhere we use by the by. Actually, people say discourse marker. I mean, what do you mean? I know, you know, all these things are there. Oh, I see, by the by. All these are discourse markers. So once we get to free time, we'll give you, or during the revision time, I will give you plenty of discourse markers. So at least you understand, once you get a paragraph, either it is based on conversation or based on an essay, that you find certain discourse markers, then underline. Then suitable discourse marker that you study, actually, by the way, all the time, you know, like that. That sometimes, if it is possible, you can avoid, but discourse markers are important. Then what is called communicative context. Third point you have to keep in mind, communicative context. All right, context. One should be thorough with communicative context. If it is communicative level, based on certain, suppose you write, all right, I have referred so many things in your previous classes, like auto pidichu pova. All right, auto pidichu pova. Once you translate, 99% people say we catch auto. Auto pidichu pova is a communicative context, is difficult for translation. Just like mosquitoes biting. All right, mosquitoes biting. Suppose you have a context in Malayalam, mosquitoes biting. Kodugu kadikkunnu. In the Malayalam translation, Malayalam paragraph, you will definitely write mosquito biting, but which is not suitable, which is not communicatively contextual and not acceptable. British people won't accept. So once you get a communicative or the situational context proverbs or discourse markers or communicative system of phrases, that should be given in the suitable way. So just like kodug, kadikunu kodug, mosquito biting, all these things. So cultural context and communicative. Another one is cultural context. All right. So one is a lexical item, then discourse marker, communicative context. Then next one is cultural. Means what? Cultural context. You should be dealt with the area of cultural context. There are plenty culture based on certain areas. So once you should understand the cultural context or situation of the society, then you should really understand. The best example that I don't know whether I put in the cold in Palakkad area Malayalam, then Kozhinjimbara area people say always Azhichittu Thulluga. What is meant by? Suppose that Azhichittu Thulluga is a phrase coming in Malayalam, how will you translate? That is based on cultural context. Azhichittu Thulluga means that once you put hay for in the sunshine, that you keep bundles of hay. ഈ വക്കോലെല്ലാം ഉണക്കാനിടുന്ന പ്രോസസ് there in Kozhinjimbara, Palakkad area, they call Azhichittu Thulluga. Is different. To translate it to English is different. That is what I mean. So in another situation, I will explain what is it. So for the purpose of now understanding what is meant by cultural context, certain areas of a language speaker community, they follow different dialects. These dialects to be translated, that you have to be very thorough with. So cultural context is very important. So then cultural context, source of language, all these things, then receptive of language. Another one is whether people will receptive, all right, receptive of language. All right, suppose you translate, that should be thorough with that reader should accept it. They should receive it. They should accept it. If they are not accepting, means your translation is wrong. So once before translation, you should be thorough with these steps. One is the lexical item should be very clearly kept in mind. Discourse markers to be kept in mind, then communicative context to be kept in mind, cultural, then whether they are receiving or not. I will show you so many examples. For that you will try to understand these cultural, then lexical items. For example, I'll tell you, you take one example, calf. All right, a calf. You get this simple word, but it has different denotative purposes. Once you apply these in the sentences, example I will tell you, look here, in spite of a wound in his calf. Look here, calf. The wood cutter, all right, the wood cutter works hard. Look here, one example, this calf, calf, calf. This calf, which is very common, which is very popular word, may be suitable, but meaning is different here. This calf means almost the leg, thigh part, which is wrong, which wound. Calf mean leg part. All right, the woodcutters leg part is wounded. The calf means wounded there. But the same word when appearing in another sentence, meaning will be different. That you have to keep in mind. Example, the cow is licking licking her calf. Look here, another word, looking calf. That is different. All right, that is different. In the same level, you take one word, cell. All right, cell. You take a cell. Once police people put somebody in a cell, one meaning, it has a different meaning. And the man who changes cells in the torch, meaning will be different. The scientist is researching on the cells of chromosomes, meaning is different. So you should be thorough in which sense a particular lexical word is used. Then only translation will be okay. So cell has so many synonyms that you should keep in mind. Another example which has different. Look here, we went to see a dam. Look here. We went to see a dam. All right. Or water level is in the dam is very low. But you know, the cubs play around their, all right, dam. What does it means? Dam. Here dam is different. First one is a very Mullaperiyar dam, like very big dam, water reservoir. Second, the cubs play around their dam means, normally in British English, dam is female animal. Means here mother. Dam is mother. Alright, so often people do not use, once they get such a sentence in a paragraph, how to translate dam? That you should be thorough with what is the meaning of dam here. Dam is mother tiger or mother animal. That mother animal is there, all the cubs there, tiger cubs coming and playing there. So this dam has different meaning which is totally different from this dam. That you should be very, very thorough with. So the same way, another word which I have plenty number of words to give you, but in degree classes not that much needed for that. Example, the pastor, you know pastor. All right, the same way, pastor takes sheep to the shelter. The pastor takes sheep to the shelter. The pastor there shepherd. The pastor takes sheep to the shelter. The second with the pastor speaks among the people. That pastor is different. What? That pastor is a man who leads the people to spirituality. So means particular way. Suppose you get a translation, pastor speaks among the people. Pastor speaks among the people. This pastor may not be the shepherd. You follow me? The pastor, the same word which has the pastor means spiritual leader. So you have to keep in mind. In the same way, we keep the soldier is moving with a loaded arm in his strong arm. Look here. In the same sentence, 2 arm coming. Understand? All right. Soldier is moving with a loaded arm. Arm means A-R-M. Arm. Loaded arm means gun. He takes his loaded gun arm in his strong arm means in his hand. There in the same sentence, 2 arms possible. But you know, translation is different. So what I try to say is, you have to keep in mind which arm is meant for real arm, which arm is meant for real weapon. Then only you can do the correct work. So all these things you have to keep in mind. Now example, we get example Q-U-E-U-E, Q. Everywhere we write Q. Once 99% people get one meaning Q. But it has, a girl is coming with a Q on her head. Means what? The Q on her head means her head hairstyle is braided. That Q means braided hair, pleated hair. That is meant by Q. But you are standing in the queue in a railway station. That queue is different, but spelling is same. So all these words you have to keep in mind. People stand in a queue to vote in the election. Vote in the election. So that queue is different. So all these steps you have to keep in mind. Once you try to translate, read the paragraph thoroughly, Malayalam, then discourse markers you underline. All these discourse markers which have very equivalent corresponding meaning which possible in English, then you try to translate. Otherwise, there is no other way but to skip away from that area. So 5 steps are there. Keep in mind, reading the paragraph thoroughly, lexical words to be underlined, discourse markers to be underlined, then communicative context you have to analyze, then cultural context whether suitable or not, you have to find all the source of language, then everything will be okay. Now let us take some sentences how you will translate. I'll give you 1 or 2, 3 sentences which may be coming in a paragraph. Example, you can copy down. Njan agathu varate. This is in communicative approach. Njan agathu varate. What will you write? Translation. All right. Njan agathu varate. Translation. May. All right. I come in. All right. Look here. One example. This may not be that much sufficient, but once you apply in a paragraph as such to be translated, that will come to the second stage. Njan agathu varate in Malayalam. In the question paper, such a question not appearing, I don't know, in the model examination they will put. Once they are applying in this paragraph translation, you will have 5 to 6. Almost 7 sentences connected paragraph. This paragraph as such to be translated, then you will get good marks. Njan korachukudi cake eduthote. One example. Suppose if that sentence is coming in the paragraph, how will you write? Njan korachukudi cake eduthu tinnote or cake eduthote. Can I have some more cake? Can I have some more cake? Because it is a polite question. Can I? Then ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ കുട ഇവിടെ വെച്ചോട്ടെ. Suppose in Malayalam sentence coming, then can I keep my umbrella here? ക്ഷമിക്കണം, എവിടെയാണ് പോസ്റ്റ് ഓഫീസ്? Please remember indirect type of questions. Do you remember question chapter that we studied? It's one area coming indirect type of questions. What are they? Same question asking different styles. So ക്ഷമിക്കണം, എവിടെയാണ് പോസ്റ്റ് ഓഫീസ്? Will you write, excuse me, where is the post office? ക്ഷമിക്കണം, എവിടെയാണ് പോസ്റ്റ് ഓഫീസ്? All these are only tips to remember. ഖേദിക്കുന്നു, എനിക്ക് അറിഞ്ഞുകൂടാ. Suppose you ask, excuse me, where is the post office? Then you should tell, sorry, I am sorry, I don't know where. Why can't you ask somebody else? That you can ask. ദയവായി അയാളോട് ചോദിക്കൂ, people say. Okay, then you will write one paragraph that you can work on translation. Then you will copy down. I will dictate, and by assignment work we will do how you translate and tell me. All right, can you copy down? I will read this paragraph. All right, and in the group the real translation I will give in the group, so that you can compare the answer. You copy down for only 5 sentences in a paragraph. Are you okay? Write down. Malayalam. നമ്മുടെ സമൂഹത്തിലെ മനുഷ്യരിൽ 20% വൃദ്ധ ജനങ്ങളാണ്. ജീവിതകാലം മുഴുവൻ അധ്വാനിച്ചതിന് ശേഷം വാർദ്ധക്യത്തെ അഭിമുഖീകരിക്കുമ്പോൾ അവർക്ക് അനേകം പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ നേരിടേണ്ടി വരുന്നു. തിരക്ക് പിടിച്ച് ആധുനിക ജീവിതത്തിൽ വൃദ്ധജനങ്ങൾ പലപ്പോഴും അവഗണിക്കപ്പെടുന്നു. മാറി വരുന്ന സാമൂഹിക പരിതസ്ഥിതിയിൽ വൃദ്ധസദനങ്ങൾ വർദ്ധിച്ചു വരികയാണ്. തെരുവിൽ ഉപേക്ഷിക്കപ്പെടുന്ന വൃദ്ധജനങ്ങളും നിരവധിയാണ്. This is a paragraph. I read once again. You check your Malayalam, then you try to translate it to English. Then in the interaction time, I will give you the correct answer. നമ്മുടെ ഈ സമൂഹത്തിലെ മനുഷ്യരിൽ 20% വൃദ്ധജനങ്ങളാണ്. ജീവിതകാലം മുഴുവൻ അധ്വാനിച്ചതിന് ശേഷം വാർദ്ധക്യത്തെ അഭിമുഖീകരിക്കുമ്പോൾ അവർക്ക് അനേകം പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ നേരിടേണ്ടി വരുന്നു. തിരക്ക് പിടിച്ച ആധുനിക ജീവിതത്തിൽ വൃദ്ധജനങ്ങൾ പലപ്പോഴും അവഗണിക്കപ്പെടുന്നു. മാറി വരുന്ന സാമൂഹിക പരിതസ്ഥിതിയിൽ വൃദ്ധസദനങ്ങൾ വർദ്ധിച്ചു വരികയാണ്. തെരുവിൽ ഉപേക്ഷിക്കപ്പെടുന്ന വൃദ്ധജനങ്ങളും നിരവധിയാണ്. This is the paragraph. And also in the textbook, many passages given, page number 183. Simple sentences given, small paragraph given, big paragraph given. Try to translate and you do your practice work. And module number 4 as such, all areas coming for practice. Practice makes full man. Okay, then wish you all the best.